Hey there, my friends. Welcome to the Right Prescription for Reading and Writing with Dr. Bill. This morning I was thinking, why is it that some students get a question wrong that's only about the word and what it means inside a sentence for reading, or a word that's vague where they have to remove that word and replace it with something that's more specific? And a verse came to me from the Bible uh, that kind of helped me get perspective. And I want to read it to you real quick. It's written by Paul in 1 Corinthians 14:40, where he says, comma, quotation capital, let all things be done decently and in order. And I was thinking, well, sometimes people only apply verses from their faith to their faith. And I think sometimes when people are talking in the Bible, they apply to everything, because I think everything needs to be done decently in order. And too many times we're asking students who struggle with reading to do everything in the same order as everybody else. And that's one reason why too many kids struggle. So I want to show you very quickly my reading, writing, and revising graphic organizer to show you what happens in many cases for kids who struggle with reading. So if you look closely at my bottom portion of, it's basically an arm working its way up to a hand. From the top, the most rigorous, a question about an entire passage, but a lot of us will say it that way. We're all guilty of this. We're expecting students to read an entire passage, an introduction, the body, the conclusion, whether it's a poem or a play or an informative passage, even a fiction story, or something about an entire paragraph with a topic sentence, a main idea, supporting sentences, closing sentence, or transition, when some of our students need to be allowed to be done things to do things in an order that's decent and in order for them. So when you look and compare questions, doing a question about a the meaning of a word in the context of a sentence, and or an answer that only has a phrase, those questions should be allowed to be worked on before the questions about a whole passage or a paragraph. And so in revising, the same thing applies. You're going to take something that's vague and remove it so that you can replace that content, that word, with something that's more specific to the content and the context. And so sometimes they might have to use the dictionary. If they don't have it in their brain, they'll have to use the book so they can find the definition. So what I've done is, in my third and fourth grade um, practice test, I've highlighted the first two questions for you. And as you can see here, uh, question one, it has paragraph 3, pork chops interaction with Bully Bill. And it was a key idea. And a lot of kids struggled with that. And well, it might have been because that was question 23 on that test, where the students had to read all the other passages. By that time, if you know the math of the test, the reading portion was almost finished for your students. And so having to read an entire paragraph about a key idea would be more difficult than, say, starting with question number 2 here, where it says, here's a phrase from paragraph 1 and about the word stall. Well, if you notice, even though it was only uh, question 1 in the 4th grade from last year, the one that was similar to this, it only got 49%. And it's because many of us are requiring students to read the entire passage, the story, whatever the passage is, or a paired passage uh, instead. So let's focus on just this question here. And notice that I fast forwarded to the question. If you have to choose between two, I would do this one first. I'm going to look at paragraph 1 and find the word stall and see it in context. All right. So as I work my way back to paragraph 1, here we go. I'm going to fast forward and see if I can find the word stall. There it is right there. The word stall is my focus of my question. Whoops, let me make sure I highlight the whole thing here. There we go. Stall. So I'm going to read it in the context of that whole sentence. This was all new to him since he was raised in a small stall, a noun, and his home was very different. And so, since that's the focus of the question, sometimes you might have to teach your kids to do what I call rewinding in something that I call my storytelling remote, where they read the sentence before. And again, this is something for kids who struggle, or fast forwarding. And so, what you might say is, uh, if you can't handle the whole paragraph, at least read the sentence before, rewinding. Then he stomped his feet over and over on the ground, causing dirt to get all over his owner. Okay, so he's in some place. This was all new to him since he was raised in a small stall, and his new home was very different. So if you're comparing and contrasting, the first part says a small stall and his new home was very different. Fast forwarding, if I want to check the next sentence, he had a lot to explore, so he left Farmer Bill staring at him in confusion. All right, so I've read 3 sentences, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the dictionary definition of the word stall on my document camera so that you can see, well, what does it say in terms of stall, so I can look at the answer choices. And there you have it. A stand, booth, or compartment for the sale of goods in a fruit or market. Well, I don't think that was, I don't think animals sell things. The second one, the noun, an individual compartment for an animal or a stable barn enclosed on 3 sides. That sounds closer to, so it's a pen, a coop, a sty, or a corral. So you have the kids look at synonyms, or what I call cinnamon rolls. It wasn't a verb, but to stall when a vehicle shuts down because it was overloaded, to stop or cause the making of progress. His career had stalled. So uh, when life slows down, it obstructs or impedes or interferes with your growth. So let's take a look at our answer choices so that I can finish this in the time that we have left. We look at the answer choices. All new to him. That's was inside the paragraph. Stood like a statue. That's something that you do. there's my warning. His new home was different. So it sounds like this is close because it's a place that I live. Okay. So I'm going to, with my 1 minute warning, I'm going to probably say that that is probably going to be my answer. And he stomped his feet. Since the context was comparing and contrasting where he used to live, then probably the answer would be letter C. His new home was different. And so even though I sent all of you the hard copy of this, well, a digital copy in email, if you're in the online recorded training, uh, you can do it digitally like I did, or print out a hard copy where your students can be doing the underlining, circling, whatever. So then I would probably select letter C because of the idea of the comparing and contrasting his new home from his old home. So that's how I would do that one. You guys take care. Uh, Tune in next time when we do the other question, and I'll follow that with a revising and editing question um, so that we can kind of get a balanced approach to English language arts reading and writing. God bless and good day.